Hello everyone, Logan Harvath, aka VALL3Y FPV here, and I am back with another review. This is a review on the KingKong Tiny 6. Okay, it's a little brush, tiny whoop style drone that I'm going to go into a little bit more details about. There are two different packages that you can get. You can get either the basic or you can get the advanced version. I got the advanced version, and I'll go over which ones have what, but that's going to be in a little while. So first, let's look at the drone. It has your typical tiny whoop style frame made out of ABS with a 65mm motor-to-motor width. It has 31mm propellers, which are yellow in this case. The advanced version does come with more than one color if you want to switch it out. It has 6mm by 16 by 15mm brushed motors. It then also comes with either a FlySky, a DSM2, or a FRSky receiver. I got the FlySky. Comes with a 25 milliwatt 16 channel VTX. It also comes with a 800 TVL 150 degree field of view camera and a F3 micro Betaflight board. So those are all the insides. I am not entirely sure how I feel about this little FPV antenna. It's just a little copper wire. I would prefer if that was a whip, but so far I haven't had any problems with durability or anything, or even range. If you crash, it just bends, so you can just bend it back. Same thing with this little guy. This guy I'm not really worried about anyways. The reception seems to work quite well. I did have one other problem which this was really the only problem, and that was the receiver. I got the FlySky receiver, and it took me like 45 minutes to bind this thing. Now, that wasn't entirely the fault of the receiver or the drone. It was just simply kind of my fault, because I was binding it, but I didn't think I was binding it, because when I have my FSI 6 receiver, when you turn it on, you see that TX battery. That's the battery for this. When a drone connects to it, normally you have another bar that says RX with a bar, and that usually is a way that I tell that it's connected to my drone. It never showed up with that, so I continuously thought that it wasn't connected. So I just had to keep on going, and I figured out, wait, it's just simply not saying it, it's actually bound. So I then got to be flying just fine from there. The stock PIDs on this thing are way too high, at least for my liking. I turned the RC rate from, I think, 100 to 50. So I went half the RC rate, and I went from a super rate of 70 to 50. That made it a lot more manageable for me, because this is my first tiny whoop. I mean, I'm sure once I get used to it, I could raise that up. And I also figured out that you should only really ever use auto level mode for tiny whoops. Don't try using things like air mode and stuff like that. Acro, there's not really any point. They're not made for this. If you want to do acro, get a 3 or 4 or 5 inch, preferably 5 inch. Anyways, let's go into what you get in the package. First of all, let's start with the basic version. The difference between the basic version and the advanced version are you only get 4 propellers as opposed to 16, which I'll show you in a second. You get 1 cover as opposed to 4, and you only get 1 battery and a charger with 1 port in the basic version, and that's $60. And I highly suggest you get the advanced version for $20 or more. The stuff that you get in it is worth way more than that. So in the advanced version, you get a total of 5 batteries. These batteries, by the way, are 250 milliamp batteries that are one cell. This alone is worth that extra $20. It also comes with a 5 battery charger that you can use either micro USB port right there or a TX60 with a LiPo. It also has both kinds of chargers, so you can use it, the small one for these guys and the bigger one for the other kind of Tiny Whoop batteries. In the advanced version you also get 12 extra props, all different colors in white, red, and pink. Same thing with canopies, you get 3 extra canopies, red, white, and pink. You get this instruction manual, and this is in both the basic and the advanced version, in English and in Chinese. And this basically tells you nothing except for how to set up your VTX. That was quite easy. I found that quite useful. It's just a little one LED that blinks 2 different color lights, and you continually switch it until the right lights are blinking. Oh, and one other little thing before I forget. Like I said, this is in fact off of Betaflight, so there is a little USB port, mini USB port in the back right there, where my thumb is, as you can see. And it's got this little connector, sorry, not connector, this little holder for your batteries, which works quite well. I haven't really had any problems with them falling out or anything like that. So, as an overview before we go into the flight video, I think this is a very, very good priced Tiny Whoop. It's a very good flyer, and overall, as a first Tiny Whoop, or even just as a first drone, this is a very, very good choice. You can't really go wrong, especially with the extra batteries for extra flight times. You know, these give me around 3 to 5 minutes, so, you know, up to 15 to 20 minutes, 25 minutes of flight time right there. That's really, really great. It's a really good way to get started, and I learned how to fly on one of these. I learned the controls. It wasn't with a camera, but it was the same style, that kind of thing. So I think if you want to learn and get into the hobby, this is a really, really, really good way to get it done. And also the price point. This is way cheaper than something like a Wizard X220, or, you know, some of the 5-inchers, which are like $150. You know, the Fury B X215 or something like that. These are way, way cheaper. Now, of course, if you really wanted to go on the cheap side, you could get the basic version, but I highly suggest just paying that extra $20 for the advanced version. I'll put both in the description down below, but either way, this is just a really good quad. So I will see you guys over at the flight video in just a second. See you there.
yeah, yeah.